It's your girl Sonic Kibz here, and welcome back to my channel. I know you guys have not seen me do a video in a very long time. I know it's probably been maybe a year since my last video when I sat down with Candace from Hustle and Soul and we did our interview about the behind the scenes of that show. But the reason why I'm here today is because I just wanted to just do a very personal story time, and the reason why this is very important to me is because a lot of African American women specifically suffer from fibroids. I was diagnosed with fibroids, and I honestly, I don't know where to start. This video is very personal to me. And so I just have to be very careful in how I present this information to the public, but also how I'm still dealing with my own personal healing. So please excuse me if there's any hiccups within the video. I just really want to use my platform for good, and I want to utilize this time to really just talk to women out there who may be going through this or who are suffering from fibroids and don't even know it. And the reason why it was important for me to do this video is because I am 6 weeks post-op from doing an abdominal myomectomy, and that is a surgery where they give you a C-section type cut and they remove the fibroids from your uterus. And so for those who do not know what a fibroid is, fibroids are non-cancerous tumors that grow within the uterus wall. It was important for me to do this video because I didn't know what was going on with my body. And it's like fibroids is one of those things where it's like a hidden thing. Like your body doesn't start developing things on the outside. And so you don't know that something is wrong until it's time for you to start trying to have a baby and you're having difficulties, or you're having extremely, painful periods and you don't know why. And you're either very, very tired and you have no idea. You think that you're maybe just lazy, like I thought I was, but it's actually your body telling you that something is wrong with your hormones. So I want to talk about that because 80% of women suffer from fibroids. A lot of women do not know because the fibroids may be small, so they never feel the signs and symptoms of it. But if your fibroid starts to grow beyond 4 centimeters, then you will start to feel something within you that doesn't feel natural. And so some people I'm gonna be very honest with you, some people fibroids can get all the way up to 20 centimeters. So it just depends on how your body develops it. I read a story recently where a woman removed 200 fibroids from her uterus. 200. Women are so amazing because the things that women go through, they are so strong. We're so strong. I don't know why I'm saying they, like I'm not a woman, but just to think about just having 200 fibroids within you, I'm just like, you're strong. And so here is my story. So in 2018, I was having some pain within my uterus, and I wasn't sure, what was going on, because it wasn't like a pain where it debilitated me, but it was like something's not right with my body. Like I don't know what it is, but I'm starting to feel pain. And so what I should have first realized, because the symptoms of fibroids can be heavy fatigue, can be anemia, can also be very heavy periods with a lot of blood clots, or it can be pain in the uterus as well as pain during sex. And so in 2018, I was feeling some type of pain in my uterus, and I went to the OBGYN and I told her what my symptoms were, and she said, you know what, I'm going to order you a transvaginal scan. And that's one thing that I want you women to really understand. If you feel like there is something wrong with your body and you go to a doctor and they say, oh, it's nothing, because I've actually heard women say, like, the doctor was like, oh, just try a different position in bed. Excuse me? What? I told you I'm in pain, sir, ma'am. What do you mean try a different position in bed? Are you crazy? So if your doctor is saying something that is just like, oh, dismissive, then please, by all means, go to another doctor. Luckily, my first doctor was like, you know what? Let's get you a transvaginal scan. And that was the first time I've ever heard anyone tell me a transvaginal scan. And what was so shocking to me about this whole entire process is I've been going to doctors every year since high school to do pap smears and to check for STDs and all that good stuff. And not one time did a doctor tell me when they put that little freaking tool inside my poom that there was something wrong. So I personally think OBGYNs are not doing enough. Yes, I'm calling you guys out. You're not doing enough, especially for African American women, because if I'm going to you year after year for pap smears and for you to put that cold thing inside of my poom and you're not seeing anything, you got me spread open in your face and you don't see anything, and you tell me, oh, all is good, yeah, you good, boo. I'm taking your word for it. Now you tell me that I have a fibroid. So what would the doctors do? You know what? Let me bring it back, because now I'm getting right back. So a transvaginal scan. So I do a transvaginal scan, and right then and there, the doctor says, I see a fibroid. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, what is that? It's a growth. It's like like a tumor. I'm like, a tumor? So now I'm already thinking I got 30 days to live. Like, what do you mean? They're a tumor? Me? How? And so I'm confused because I don't eat cheese. I don't drink dairy. I hardly eat red meat. I don't eat pork. So I'm like, what should I not eat? What should I be doing? Like, I'm blaming everything that I'm eating because I'm like, it's on the inside of me. So I'm blaming my food. She basically explains to me that it's a non-cancerous growth that grows inside of the uterus. The locations can be on the outer portion of the uterus. It can be located within the wall of the uterus. It can be located under the uterus lining and can push into the uterine cavity. And it could also be located like outside of the uterus, connected like a wall. And so I'm confused because I'm like, man, what do I do next? And I'm like, okay, what size is it? She says she sees 1 6-centimeter fibroid. So I'm confused now because I'm just like, how did this happen to me? So fast forward, I don't have the best insurance at the time, and so I don't really do anything about it. You know, I go for follow-up checkups, but it stays around 6 centimeters. But one symptom that was really taking hold of my body was I was losing so much blood during my menstruation every single month. And when I mean so much blood, I'm talking about I was losing blood. Sorry, this may be TMI for some people, but I was going through the number 6 on the pad when it's the overnight. I was going through those every hour. I was changing it every hour. Like, God, I don't know how I didn't pass out, because there's some women who their heavy bleeding causes them to pass out, or they have to go to the hospital because there's just so much blood and they're losing their energy and they can't stand. So I thank God I was able to still be mobile, but I was losing that much blood every single month. Like, when my periods would come, I would hate it because I couldn't really go anywhere the first 2 or 3 days because I would be scared that it would leak through. You know, that's one of the symptoms of fibroids. Going to the bathroom so often was another symptom of fibroids, because the fibroid is pushing against my bladder. Sorry guys, my camera died, so just jumping right back into the topic. I have a lot that I want to say about the surgeries and, you know, the different type of surgery you can get to remove fibroids from your uterus, but I want to make sure that I focus this first video on just what uterine fibroids is and the symptoms and signs of uterine fibroids. And so, because I know this video is already long, so I want to do another video where I break down the surgery process and kind of give you guys behind the scenes of my actual journey doing a myomectomy. Just to recap, if you are having any issue, these are the symptoms that you need to look out for. If you are having any heavy menstrual bleeding, if you're bleeding between periods, or you have prolonged bleeding outside of 7 days, if you are extra tired or fatigued from possible anemia due due to heavy menstrual blood loss, if you have period pain and or cramping, I'm talking about very severe period pain, if you have pain during sex, if you have pelvic pain in between periods when you're not, menstruating, but you're still feeling pain down there, if you have a lot of pressure or discomfort in your abdomen area or in your lower back, or if you feel like your stomach is looking like you're carrying a child, if you have frequent urination, if you have constipation, or if you're having issues conceiving, I need you to go to your OBGYN and request a transvaginal scan. And if you have the money or the insurance to do so, get an MRI. I did not only a transvaginal scan, but I also did an MRI, and the MRI showed that I had 2 fibroids. So not only did I have one fibroid that was at the time 7 centimeters, which grew to about 8.5 centimeters by the time I did my surgery, and then another fibroid. That's when I was like, okay, you know what? It's time for me to book this surgery. So I found the only African-American OBGYN near where I live, because it was very important for me that not only did I have a surgeon that was going to be the same as me, and the reason why that was important is because she needs to understand what my mental, physical, and emotional abilities are. Like, what is that? And she needs to understand that. And I'm not saying that a Caucasian doctor or a male doctor can't, but what I'm saying is what is important to you. So I chose what was important to me. So it was very important for me to find an African-American doctor, an OBGYN, and she performed my surgery. I'm 6 weeks post-op, and like I said, I'm going to do another video where I just break down the myomectomy process. I break down the surgery. I'm going to show you guys behind the scenes of the surgery and the things that I was able to record. And I'm going to show you guys my scar and things like that. But this video was just more so focused on understanding if you have uterine fibroids, please don't think it's the end of the world. But I want to make this video because it's super important that African American women, and just women in general, because not only African American women get it, however, majority of African American women get it. So I'm talking to my sisters here. It is very important if you're having any type of discomfort in your uterus, I cannot stress this enough, go to the doctor and ask them for a transvaginal scan. Not just an ultrasound, not just for them to put their finger up there and check. Ask for a transvaginal scan, because those monitors and those computers can see much more than a doctor's eye can see. And then once you do that, if they say you should get surgery, please, by all means, go for another opinion. I went to 3 different doctors before I decided to have surgery. But I will say that if you are struggling with fibroids right now and you don't have the funds to be able to get the surgery, please change up your diet immediately. So if you can cut off all meat, if you can cut off all dairy, if you can cut off cheese, if you can cut off any animal supply, please cut that off. If you can change your sugar intake, please minimize your sugar intake. If you can change your salt from regular salt to Himalayan salt, please do that. If you can start incorporating herbal teas such as green tea and white tea, please do that. There are so many other alternatives so that you can at least minimize the symptoms and the pain, such as acupuncture and things like that. So I thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. Please send this video to your sisters, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, because they may have wives, your daddies, whoever. Send this video to them, because people need to understand that we are suffering from this and we need to figure out how to minimize this. So thank you for watching. Please tune in for the next video where I'm going to talk about the myomectomy process, as well as what I'm doing to heal myself and how I'm feeling, and some behind the scenes of the myomectomy and fibroid surgery. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe, comment below. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to answer them in the next video, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.